The CNMI is on the cusp of economic collapse. That's according to its congresswoman Kimberly King-Hinds. During a House Committee on Natural Resources oversight hearing, she introduced a bill asking Congress for a $400 million bailout as requested by Governor Arnold Palacios.
I've been writing letters to every agency requesting to spare the CNMI from any cuts to grants or federally funded personnel because our economy is dependent on these funds and positions for survival.
The congresswoman says the governor just refinanced a loan to cover the remainder of this year's fiscal budget. She says that budget doesn't fully fund government operations like gas for police and Rhoda, leaving them unable to patrol.
Legacy businesses like the Hyatt have shut down. Duty-free Shoppers has just announced that it too will be closing shop. Every day when I leave here at 5:30 and the Marianas Day begins, I field phone calls, and I go home at night, I field phone calls from more legacy businesses who are talking about shutting their doors because we don't have enough tourists to keep the door open.
She adds even the Commonwealth Port Authority is, quote, begging for relief because it can't sustain operations with the current rate of visitor arrivals. Her remarks come amid federal funding uncertainty and as several defense think tanks look to shut down its visa waiver program to close China's backdoor into the U.S. Non-resident senior fellow Cleo Pascal with the Foundation of Defense of Democracies testified that Chinese tourism is a threat.
The idea is to isolate the sector of tourism that is incredibly unreliable, that comes and goes, that uses itself for economic leverage, for political and strategic advantage. The United States could decide tomorrow that no Chinese tourists can come into the U.S. And if CNMI has built up its tourism around Chinese tourism, it is going to be incredibly vulnerable.
Pascal emphasized the importance of federal funding from the Office of Insular Affairs, which manages federal relations with the territories. The think tank recommends smaller changes, like a waiver from cabotage to break United's monopoly, and even a fast ferry between Guam and Rhoda for military tourists. Meanwhile, Guam Congressman James Moylan told the committee that while the OIA provides essential funding for the territories and freely associated states, many programs remain unfunded and have not been adjusted for years.
We must work to increasing funding for OIA to deal with problems such as the invasive and stray animal control, IUU fishing, and counter-narcotics operations. And over the last several years, methamphetamine use has skyrocketed, creating a public health and safety crisis. And recently, we have even seen fentanyl enter our shores.
He warns against one-size-fits-all policies that ignores the territory's unique situations that could have the potential to negatively impact our economies, educational institutions, and healthcare systems.